All right. Well, I am here with a guy I've known for a long time. He's another one of those people that I interviewed when I was at the Mankato Free Press for MSU Theater, and I've got some fond memories. Seen each other a couple of times since then. But Jim Schiffman was an MSU theater student. It wasn't theater and dance at that time. From 1985 until 1989, I remember him from a couple of roles that I probably interviewed him for. I remember talking to you about Chefelli Puppets too, but Sky Masterson and Guys and Dolls, and also, Seymour, right? In Little Shop of Horrors?
No, I actually was the dentist at all. So I think I had
Right.
4 or 5 different roles. I think I played the dentist, a bum, and Mrs. Loose. So I got to get some little extra padding up front and behind. And yep.
All right, well, that sounds great. So we are here just to talk a little bit because I saw a Facebook posting the other day that you are looking to get out of the Chefelli Puppets, something that you have been doing for a very long time. Do you want to give us a little history about Chefelli Puppets and what has prompted you to reach this decision that you have?
Absolutely. Well, I started Chefelli Puppets with my really good friend Shelly Cody back in 1978. We were both in high school. It was a puppet theater wagon in the city of Apple Valley in Minnesota, and we would go around during the summer for I think it was 8 weeks, and we do I think it was 12 to 16 shows every week. We had a new show every day, and we thought, oh, we could make money doing this, because at the time we started, we were making $1.75 an hour.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. And we were looking forward to making $5 an hour in a couple of years. So after that, we kind of started to do our own thing. We did libraries, community festivals, a lot of libraries. Then we bought our own puppet wagon and started doing festivals up in Duluth so we could do outdoor shows. And probably about 5 years ago, we sold the wagon. And a few years ago, we just had started to think, well, what does the future hold? And COVID kind of pushed us to the point where it's like, health reasons and caring things. We don't really have any roadies, so we thought, you know what, maybe it's time to hang up the live shows, but keep doing the video production and any streaming productions that we can do. So it's really fun. I don't see us stopping doing video stuff, because my other job that I still have is working for the city of Lakeville, and that's where we've done a lot of stuff, videos about how city government works and that kind of thing. And that's actually how I've gotten the 10 Emmys, regional Emmys, for doing that program and doing that work at the city of Lakeville. So, but it's basically time to just not ruin my back anymore and, not travel anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Now, when you do the videos for the city of Lakeville, I've seen a couple of those off of your Facebook page. Do those also utilize the puppets?
Yes and no. So it's not all puppets. So I mean, we have straight interviews with city staff, but when we want to make something a little different, stand out a little bit, it's just one of those tools in the toolbox that it immediately gets some attention, as opposed to somebody just standing up there and saying, well, the storm sewer is really effective. We have a dog or a cat or another type of animal or monster that brings the message, and it automatically, it makes it different and makes it a little more fun for people watching, be it adults or kids or adults.
Okay. How many of those do you figure you've made through the years?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How many of those types of videos do you figure you've made through the years?
We got paid?
No, have you made?
Oh, made? Oh, sorry about that. I'm hearing it through my phone. So, well, we did that show for probably 10 to 12 years. So we did a monthly show. So there's a lot. There was a lot of them. And then we did some independent gigs as well, doing a Learning Treehouse series and other things. So we kept quite busy with doing the video, but our main meat had always been doing live shows. So
Okay. Do you want to tell us just a little bit of background about yourself since we jumped right into the puppets? Just tell us about how you got into theater, some of your experiences while you were at Mankato, and how that has served you as you've gone off into the real world, as they say.
Into the 21st century. Yes.
Oh,
Well, I was really active in theater in high school. I was pretty well rudderless, not sure what I wanted to do. And then there was a notice for an audition for Thieves Carnival. I always had seen kind of the previews of the high school shows and was like, how do you get into that? I have no idea. One of the theater directors just said, oh, you should try out for it. And that kind of got me hooked from there. And then one of the directors at Apple Valley High School, where I went to, was Denny Swanson, who also was from Mankato, very instrumental in pushing him and Polly Rykowski, both at Apple Valley, were very instrumental in pushing forward, wanting to continue theater in some way, entertaining, and just kind of assuming different roles than who you really are. So kind of went to Mankato. I think we had talked about this before we started recording. I think it was 84, 85. I think it was 85. Maybe it was even 86. I don't know. So long ago, I can't remember, Mike. But it was very interesting because it was a whole different group of people. Because when you do theater, it is like a family. You're used to this person getting this role, this person getting that role, and it was just a whole different group of people who you had never met before, and was very impressive for a school kind of in the middle of nowhere in southern Minnesota. It was like, wow, there's a lot of talented people here. And the facility, fantastic. The staff that was there, fantastic. I mean, the sets, the costumes, everything was really first rate. Like you said, I was in a Little Shop of Horrors, Guys and Dolls. They did a Crucifer of Blood. It was a Sherlock Holmes piece. I got to play Sherlock, and they actually had a naval battle on stage.
wow.
They had two go-karts that they had built ships around the go-kart, and they had fog, and I was impressed. Every night it was like, wow, that's great. So yeah, I mean, just I'm sure it's the same way because their standard has always been so high there. Just the technical aspect, the theater itself, and the staff always was a great memory and a great education that has helped me as I've been in my puppet business. Been doing that for 35 years with my partner Shelley. Basically, we were doing everything. We were doing producing, directing, writing, doing the advertisements, working contracts, all that stuff that there was always a little piece of it that I had learned in Mankato that I could apply to the puppet business and the video portion of my work too, just getting along with people, listening to things. And I'm sorry, my wife is texting and it's coming up on my phone and it's driving me crazy. So
Okay. Hi, Sue.
it's crazy. But yeah, my video was supposed to be my backup career, but that ended up being my main career. I've been doing that for 35 plus years.
Wow.
So that's been really fun. So, but it's been a nice balance being able to do theater, puppetry, video production, and I still do try to do theater as much as I can. It's tougher, but my kids are both grown and doing other things. So in the last couple of years, I played Norman Thayer Jr. on Golden Pond.
Wow.
Just a few months ago, I played Dr. Rank in A Doll's House. I'd never done anything like that, but that thirst to do that next different role or try a different aspect of what you think you can handle. A lot of that was instilled, and the skills that I learned at Mankato State, or Minnesota State Mankato, sorry, they're still with me to this day. And I think when I do that stuff, it just provided such a good foundation, a working foundation, that I approach it that way every time I do a show. Of course, now as you're getting older, it's like, can I memorize all that stuff?
Yeah.
Is it still working? But yeah, so
Well, I remember,
Mankato stuff has stuck with me.
I remember when you and Sue and Olivia came to Mankato, she was looking for colleges. We weren't able to convince her to come to MSU, but as you say, she has moved on into the world. And you got to, I think you got, didn't we take a tour of the Andreas Theater?
Yes, we did, and my son Ethan too. That we came down, and he was looking for a place, and Olivia ended up going to Hamlin in St. Paul, and Ethan went up to Vermilion in Ely. So they kind of found their own paths that worked for them, and they're both out on their own, out of the state, working and doing what they can. But I think they really enjoyed seeing Mankato, and they were very active in high school doing theater and music. So I bet in the future they will eventually come back to that. But it was a good opportunity for them both to see a university that provides such high quality facilities. That their high school was good, but
Well, yeah,
Mankato was better.
you mentioned Denny Swanson too. There are so many people from Mankato who kind of went through the Denny Swanson path. Were there some people at Mankato from Apple Valley at that same time?
When I was there, no.
Yeah, no?
No.
Okay. Were you involved in the children's theater tour, I'm wondering?
No, because
Okay.
I had my own company, and I could make more money doing it on my own than doing it with the theater. So
Okay.
I wasn't going to make that $1.75 an hour again. So
okay. What were some of the experiences that you had with the kids that, when you were doing the in-person presentations that will stick with you as you get older, things that really struck you as being maybe representative of the way society was, or just kids that you were really impressed by, or maybe not so impressed by?
Well, there was a lot of both. After doing 40 years of live shows, it was figuring out how to keep their attention. And that was a challenge that Shelley and I and all the other people that performed with Chefelli Puppets over the years, like Sue and my kids. I think the greatest feeling of satisfaction was when they would laugh. You do some goofy thing with the puppet, and they would just bust a gut. And there's nothing like young kids laughing to just kind of make you feel better about what's going on, just to entertain them and actually be able to hold their attention for, a half an hour, 35 minutes. You definitely would know when a bit didn't work because they'd start chit-chatting and stuff. But for the most part, the kids were good. The people who weren't very good were the parents.
Really?
I can't tell you how many shows the moms were on the back of the room or the theater talking on the phone. And here, let me grab this here real quick. I prepared a little bit, not a lot, but we'd be doing a show and talking, and we could obviously hear the mom or whoever it was talking in the back. And then this is my friend Louie. Hey, how you doing, Mike? What's up, man? Hey, yeah, it's good to see you. So what would happen is I'd call out the parent in the back. I go, excuse me, ma'am. Yeah, you on the phone out there. Is my show interrupting your phone call? Pretty ballsy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that you'd have that a lot where people just weren't used to it. And now I think it's even worse because we're all set on these screens and we're streaming stuff and we're watching stuff. And if we need to take a break, we hit pause, we get up, eat and go do something. But I think it's a whole new thing and I think is really important to keep that live theater going. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of letting everybody down by that, but I think it's a good learning tool for the kids and adults to be part of a group and have a group experience and being able to focus on that and not have to,
Yeah.
Get up, walk away. I think it's something we have to make sure that doesn't get lost.
Yeah. And you are looking to sell that portion of the business, correct? If you can find somebody?
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of a crapshoot. I mean, we've got 100 plus puppets.
Hmm.
We've got 2 stages that are portable. We've got a sound system, scripts. We're willing to share our contacts and kind of what business we've had over the last few years. So I'm not anticipating any big windfall, but if we can pass what we have on and somebody can use that in some degree or other, it would be great as opposed to just having that sitting in the garage or ending up at a thrift store. So
Yeah, well, you certainly provide them with a great basis for it, with the resources and the contacts. The contacts, I'm sure you've spent a lot of time cultivating those. So invaluable stuff.
exactly. And it's tough right now for COVID because especially like with the libraries, they're not exactly sure what they're doing yet. Some are doing outside, some aren't. Some are, well, can you do stuff outside? Yeah, it's still kind of up in the air with what's going on with that. But I'm thinking as the couple of years go by here, as we figure out how we're going to live with COVID and stuff, we'll get it figured out and people will be doing live stuff again. So maybe this is a good time for us to just kind of take a pause and then help somebody else move in that direction so they can enjoy maybe part of their dream if they like doing puppets or just entertaining people. Yeah.
So what does the future hold for you then? You're continuing at the City of Lakeville.
Yep, but I'm gonna be retiring in a few years, so just trying to get some more experiences, mainly, substitute teach possibly. I have a few other things that I guess I'd like to do, maybe move to a warmer climate, but definitely keep doing theater, doing puppets, and maybe doing some writing, because that stuff doesn't stop. I mean, you can get locked up here in COVID, but you still want to grab the puppets and do something, create a scene or a little vignette, and something you always feel like you want to do, and it doesn't just go away. You still keep creating that stuff, and I've been lucky too. I've had my partner Shelly. We've been doing this since we were in high school, and we work really well together. So it's been a tough decision to say we're just not going to do that anymore. But it's been nice around the holidays not to have to go on a Friday night. Oh, we got to get on rush hour traffic and get to the show by 5:30, and so it's kind of refreshing.
Okay. Do you have any dream roles that you would like to play? You say you want to continue theaters, or Norman Thayer, that's a big jump forward. That's an octogenarian that you're playing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much hair now, but I took off more hair, so I have that classic 50s dad like stripe. So that kind of helped, but I could probably play that role again because I'm not even 60 yet. So there's probably more opportunities to do that. Musicals, Man of La Mancha would be one that would be fun if they still do that one. I'm just trying to think if there's anything incorrect in that one that wouldn't serve as a show that they could do. Maybe before, Shrek maybe.
Oh.
Yeah, just some fun different roles, and like I just did the Ibsen show, The Doll's House, another drama like that. It's very refreshing to see if you can get that to work, because I'm basically musical comedy guy. So to do the doctor rank, where he's for an Ibsen show, he's kind of the comic relief anyway. It's not knee slapping, but but something more like that range too. So yeah.
Okay. Do you have any advice for maybe the current students or the recent alums from the theater department that have served, that you've learned through your life, that you think you wish you had known when you were heading out of college?
Absolutely. Stay true to your dream. Absolutely. Keep working on that. But if you're still going to school, get a business class. You don't
Mm,
have to major in it, but take a class on contracts, take a class on accounting. One of the things we did with Chefelli Puppets was we got to audition for Disney and the Disney Channel, and they had us signed to do, well, we ended up doing a pilot, and then we just kind of got lost in the shuffle.
mm,
But I think as an actor, you always say, oh, I need to get an agent. Well, you shouldn't just rely on the agent. You need to have some sort of business sense to know what those contracts mean and what it means when a manager or an agent gets a percentage. You know, is that a percentage forever? Is that just a percentage for this thing? So I guess that's my big thing, is learn a little bit about business. You don't forget about your art, but to protect yourself and to understand what it is that the business moves on, and it's money.
yeah,
So if you can have a little bit of knowledge, knowledge is power. If you can have a little of that knowledge, I think that'll serve you really well. And even if you've graduated and you're like kind of in between looking for something to do, take a business class just to know about accounting, again, the contracts, just so you're not just relying on that
yeah.
person who says, hey, I'm working for you. Well, for the most part, I'm sure most of the time people are pretty honest, but you've all heard stories and read things about famous people who've gotten ripped off. So
Mhm.
if you're a little guy, you shouldn't be in that position to get ripped off. So
Yeah, there's the theater management class is one that I took when I worked there. That always gives you great insight into what happens behind the scenes. Because if you're an actor in front of the stage, in front of the curtain, you're not aware of all of that kind of stuff. So pick the brains of the people who you work with there, and they'll be able to. We're in a post-Hustolian period now up at MSU with Paul having retired. I almost said graduated, but
well,
still
in a
there.
way he did. He did.
Yes, he did. Unfortunately, well, yeah, he went out just before COVID hit too. So as a matter of fact, his last Highland Summer Theater season did not take place, which was too bad. I think he was scheduled to direct all four productions that summer. So he's still doing all right. I speak to him occasionally. So
Good.
well, Jim, thank you very much. I appreciate taking the time. I hope you find an appropriate resting place for Chefelli Puppets, and that it goes on in some way. I know you've touched a lot of lives of the students that you've worked with through those years. So best of luck as you transition toward retirement.
Sounds good, Mike. And as always, it's a pleasure to talk to you. It's a friendship that we kind of started many years ago, and just seems like we pop up every once in a while. So it's good to be able to still connect with you and catch up and see what's going on with each other.
All right. Well, thank you very much, and best wishes for the new year.
You too. Have a great 2022.
Thank you. All right.